Well, to be honest, we don't have to, start the podcast as soon as I press
Okay.
start. That just means the point at which it starts uploading to YouTube.
Okay.
So if I go to my YouTube channel thing now, or not, weird. It's meant to be there on my channel. Expect it might take a few minutes to come through. Whatever. Yeah. So how are you, Kurt?
I'm good. I'm very well, thank you, Michael. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Having not more, continuing family issues by the side of it.
Yeah, my grandmother's old and ill. Yeah, she's going to be in hospital for at least a little while longer, and then it's probably going to come out on oxygen, which just whole set of problems that come with being 80, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not problems, Mike. Challenges.
I'll be honest, it's being pretty challenging for her at the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's,
Yeah, my grandma is 100 in September, and my mum has said now a few times, I don't want to be that old ever.
Oh dear. Well, at least my grandmother's she's in a lot better spirits than she was a couple of weeks ago. Because a couple of weeks ago it was, yeah.
I've had enough.
It was looking pretty bad.
Right.
But now she's looking forward to going home.
Cool.
That can only be a good thing.
Very positive sign. I'm told.
So yeah, otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm good, and I've had a good weekend. I've seen Nine Inch Nails on Friday night.
Yes, I didn't see about that. Did you enjoy them?
It was very, very good.
Excellent.
Very good. I was in
Tell the
pain the
girls,
next
yeah.
morning. Sorry?
Did you take the girls with you?
Yeah, they loved it. Don't laugh. My sister's taken her nephews to the Leeds Festival before with big mufflers on. Well, the eldest when he was a lot younger, with big ear defenders on.
Well, if
They loved it. They had a whale of a time.
if they enjoy
They
it,
particularly
that's
liked all the foul language.
That's kids. They will pick up on the worst stuff imaginable.
I know. God. Now they're both running around saying they want to fuck things like an animal. I don't understand where they get it from.
I wonder.
Can you imagine that? Jesus Christ.
So have you fully recovered from the Welsh Open then, as well?
I believe so, yes. Yes, I believe so. I'm damn glad that I got my player sheet back from you.
Oh?
Because by Tuesday I was trying to recount my third game and no idea who it was.
So I played some guy,
I think he was Welsh.
possibly male, given there was only one woman there.
And that was Jimmy.
And that was what? And that was who? Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy was in the feature match room all weekend. I was like, yeah, I'm glad we kind of sectioned you off of there. I'm actually kind of surprised, given that there was just Martin, myself, and Jimmy. We survived that weekend. Because normally it's like crew of 4 run off their feet.
Yeah, but you sat next to at least one, if not two of my games for quite a considerable amount of time.
Yeah. Because there were no rules queries. Just at all. Oh, hello, Alex. What is going on?
Oh, he's gone. Bamf.
Bamf, eh?
We need a Bamf sound effect.
Okay, so either my computer, or my phone, should I say, really likes Jimmy, or Jimmy's in control of my phone.
Okay, good. So somehow, because you've said it on Google, I've never had this before because I've got a new phone. I now have this a reminder thing for Elite Cadre appeared on my phone as a proper alarm. I'm glad it's not actually going off. I'm going to kill that. Because you said the appointment, it was like going, you got to hang out. You must go and do that. I'm like, I am doing it. Leave me alone.
Oh, excellent. I shall have to remember to abuse that. Speaking of you mentioning a Banff sound effect,
I've got X2 on.
Have you seen Days of Future Past?
Twice.
It's good, isn't it?
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Thursday night in Bristol, and then I saw it on Friday afternoon before Nin with Mr. Townsend.
I was expecting it to be good, but I walked out thinking, yeah, that was.
Oh, did you stay right to the end?
Uh,
No, you didn't, did you?
I saw. What was the?
Did you stay right to the end?
I stayed right to the end of the credits, but I can't remember what was there.
Oh, how do you not remember what that was? Did you read? Hang on, how much X-Men have you read?
Not enough. I remember what it was. It was the pyramid, yeah.
The kid with the pyramid and 4 figures on the horizon. Ooh.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, I got very excited. I have heard rumour that the next film is called X-Men Apocalypse or some variation of that phrase.
That is something I'd heard as well.
And that confirms everything.
Fair enough.
Very much. Very, very much. Oh my god.
I do like the very subtle way they've kind of said, yeah, X-Men 3? That definitely didn't happen. That's good.
Well, they didn't say it never didn't happen. They said it never actually in this timeline can have happened and won't ever and stuff and throw lots of Red Dwarf quotes.
Yes.
Even in Red Dwarf they messed up in the cut.
Yes. But did you see what I did on was it Saturday where I did the triple movie day?
No.
In the morning at about 11, I started with X-Men.
Right.
Then I had a little break after that, and then went to see Godzilla.
Cool.
And then
Godzilla.
went and had a bit of lunch, early dinner, and finished up with Spider-Man 2.
Godzilla.
I was ready to punch people when they laughed at Ken Watanabe's pronunciation of Godzilla. He's just there going, Godzilla! I was like, yes. And everyone else is laughing. I was like, that's his name. He's Godzilla.
Yeah, we were just going Godzilla all the way through anyway.
Massive racists.
Oh, sorry. Oh, not quite next to Conrad. Next to Nick, who was next to Conrad.
Ah, well, that explains a few things. No, I was also very pleasantly impressed by Godzilla.
So I really like the story. I think I want to see it on the small screen.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the experience. I never I was going to never get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of a film, but that was for other reasons. It transpires. It was right. I didn't care about any of the human characters at all. I only cared about Godzilla, which annoyed me.
That's kind of the point. They weren't terribly important.
No. Let's not ruin it with the other bit. But
I mean, the whole thing was that the humans could not have been there, and that film could have had almost exactly the same plot.
Yeah. I did like the plot. The fact there was a plot and there was story surprised me how much depth of plot. I know it was pretty much a remake of the original, and it was a similar story to the early Godzilla films and stuff. But I enjoyed it. I just felt a little bit kind of, I want to watch that again.
I want to watch it again, but in a good way. I did love the fact that Godzilla looked like a slightly chubby guy in a suit.
He did look a bit like
it. But it was the massive, threatening lizard that could, knock buildings down and smash things in the face. But at the same time, there's a little bit of how it moved and the facial expressions it made that it was like, that looks a bit like a bloke in a suit. Which I thought just fitted it absolutely perfectly.
Yeah. It did. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed X-Men more.
Yeah, okay, I'd go for that.
Well, I immediately wanted to see X-Men again and saw it the next day.
Mm.
Opportunity was a lot of that. It was kind of going to Nin. Matt Townsend was going to Nin. I'm like, middle of the day off? Yeah. Film. So we went and grabbed burger and then went and saw Godzilla. X-Men, again.
That's fair enough. What was it? Oh yeah, then I went to see Spider-Man.
I really like that.
Hmm.
I really like that.
How to put this in the nicest possible term? I don't think it was a bad film.
No, it's great. It's a really good film.
I just thought it was too long. It actually has a variation of the same problem Spider-Man 3 had. It was kind of, and to an extent that Dark Knight had, where it's got a really long running time, but it's still got more stuff than it should in that running time.
Yeah.
And it feels like you could go, okay, we can either do this Electro storyline and do it really well, and that can be a film, or we can do what we do later on with Green Goblin and what's her face, the woman Emma Stone plays that I always
Gwen Stacy, yes.
Gwen Stacy.
The original girlfriend. You know, I know people see her as the replacement, but the original girlfriend.
I don't read Spider-Man.
I'm not a massive Spider-Man reader, but I've read it.
But yes, anyway. So, or you can do the Green Goblin and Gwen Stacy bit, and do that really well as a film. And it felt.
No, I like what they did.
Either one of those. I think they
it really surprised me. Do you know what was really minor? And this will spoil it because the trailers make out he's a massive character. Is fucking Rhino.
Oh, that was just. Well, someone actually did do the comparison of what was it? Of Amazing Spider-Man 2 to Batman and Robin, and they said, okay, Rhino.
You've got Bane, you've got Poison Ivy, you've got Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, so you've got a vaguely elemental villain that does lots of puns about his element. He's a bit blue, and is kind of set up as the major villain for the piece. Then you've got the sort of bioorganically mutated one, who wanders around for a bit, doesn't really do much, and features in the background a bit.
Not Rhino.
No. Then you've got the super strong one, in the trailers, but only features for about 30 seconds on screen.
Yeah, Bane in that film was awful.
It was like, I know what you're doing is completely facetious and probably a little bit disingenuous, but at the same time, you're picking on things that are absolutely correct. I think it either needed to be about 45 minutes shorter or 2 films.
No, I was happy with it. I was very like Dark Knight as well. I really like. I know what you mean about Dark Knight. The whole thing at the end of Dark Knight with Two-Face feels like an epilogue. Feels like a bolt. Kind of feels like a bolt-on separate story. But I like the way it is also a progression, and it works really well. Especially works really well on Blu-ray. Watching it at home works really, really well. I like Spider-Man. It flew by for me. I was over in no time at all. I really like the fact there was a much bigger Electro story than I was expecting. I really like that. I like the fact that Goblin seemed to come from nowhere, because in the trailer you're kind of not sure who that is. I was kind of, who the fuck is that? What is that? Is that some other weirdness? And I thought Rhino was a huge character, and you go, oh, he's in it for about 10 minutes. We'll be giving him a lot of credit.
I thought his suit looked a bit stupid.
I kind of liked it. What it was doing, it's setting up for the Sinister Six in the next film, isn't it? In my opinion.
Because
you saw the Vulture's wings, you saw Doc Octopus's tentacles, you got Green Goblin. So Sinister Six has been different in cartoons and in different comics anyway. So who is in the Sinister Six can change, but generally speaking, you end up with Electro might not be an issue, but you generally have Shocker and you have Rhino and sometimes Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus and.
Well, that has been that whole thing where people have been saying that Sony want to set up their own version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe just with what they've got from Spider-Man.
So,
which is a much shallower.
Who owns X-Men and who owns Avengers? I get confused. They're separate, aren't they? Again.
X-Men is
isn't it? Fox.
Spider-Man is Sony. Everything else, bar I think one character, is Marvel.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they're Sony as well, aren't they?
Are they Sony?
They're Sony as well.
Fox.
No, they're separate. They're different. They're not the same as definitely not the same as Avengers. Are they Fox? Are they? What, like X-Men?
Yeah.
So, what was interesting about? Did you spot the confusing unnamed characters in X-Men, the new X-Men, who both characters are in Avengers 2?
Oh, yeah, Quicksilver and
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
yeah.
Yeah, that was just like that's
there's-
awesome.
There's
Let's put them in, but we're not going to name them. But
No.
we'll name him kind of.
there's a reason for it. Basically, when Marvel signed over the rights to the X-Men, because
They're in both. Both of them in both.
Exactly. So they had to have years
Especially her.
of legal wranglings to go through before they went, okay, tell you what, we can both use them.
Well, especially Wanda.
So,
I mean, Wanda is. I mean, generally speaking, Quicksilver is Brotherhood, and that's about it. He does appear in Avengers, but he's a much smaller character, and he, for the most part, is Brotherhood of Mutants, and falls out with Magneto, and then wants to please his dad, and then falls out with him, and blah blah blah. Cycle
he
continues.
features pretty heavily in the Ultimates universe, which is what.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I haven't read a lot of those. I've only read a few.
I mean, the third part of Ultimates, which is what the Avengers are called in the Ultimate Universe, the book is.
I know what Ultimates are. Yeah.
The book is entitled "Who Killed Scarlet Witch."
Oh, cool. I haven't read that. I've only read the first two.
Don't bother. Really, don't bother. The third book is atrocious.
Oh no, isn't it Jeff Loeb as well? Isn't it tragic because he's really good, and yet it's Jeff Loeb written, isn't it? Not Miller.
It's not Mark Miller. No, the third book is appalling.
Yeah, but isn't it? It's not Mark Miller though, is it? I don't think.
No, it isn't Mark Miller.
It's Jeff Loeb, I think.
But it's not Mark Miller, is it?
Shut up, bitch.
We've said this several times.
I misheard you. I was checking.
Yes.
Shut up.
But it's not Mark Miller, is it?
Now this is going to be. He's going to bring this back in the main podcast now. You know he is. But
Yeah,
it's not Mark Miller, is it?
It's like the Batman game all over again, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Mike. Can I stop you? It's not Mark Miller, is it?
No.
There's a Batman game.
Yes.
That's something you'd be really into, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, it is Jeff Loeb.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, I heard that. I've not read it, but I've heard it. His stuff could be so good. I love Batman Hush and all that. It's doing some amazing stuff.
Oh yeah, I love Batman.
But the problem they've got is that they have an artist who completely mixes up the visual style.
Totally.
And you get several characters that are introduced out of nowhere in the Ultimate storyline.
Oh, it's so annoying.
So you got, is it Valkyrie?
Yeah, I think so.
That's going on the floor?
He's trying to ask. It's great.
I'm just ignoring him at this point.
I'm laughing at it. He sounds like he's really into it.
Valkyrie just appears from nowhere and wears bikini armor for the whole
Oh.
book. It's like,
So unrealistic.
what's going on with this? So I was
Just
very...
Norse and stuff, though, you know.
Yeah, but occasionally she gains to where, like, well, if you read,
Sif's half. It depends on who draws her, but she ends up almost half naked after comics.
if you read, it's like Defenders or the last Valkyrie's in, that's really good, like as a piece from her. But Ultimate 3 is just bad, so bad. Oh, in fact, I'm actually looking at the Wikipedia article here, and it's now quoted as, "This was the worst comic I've read all year."
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know who... that was the review on IGN. It's, yeah. It involves a robotic Tony Stark impersonator.
Oh. The robotic ones are the worst.
It's like robotics by Superman. This is ridiculous.
Right, so... discussions for this evening. So
We haven't got much to talk about, have we? I mean, there's nothing new on the website, and we haven't been and done anything.
There's the website.
There's Resnick,
Yes, there is.
and a whole load of juniors.
Yes. Look at them.
Hence why I said there's nothing to talk about, and we haven't been and done anything.
We've got the errata, or the one.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's the main thing in that, isn't it? The units. I think that's interpretation. I've heard some very black and white versions of that, and I'm like, it's plainly there to stop you leaving one. What is it in the podcast?
Yeah. And the other one is the conversion policy.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, you've not read the conversion policy brouhaha?
No, I don't do that kind of shit anymore.
Basically, if you go to an official Privateer Press event, so basically something that they are running, then the conversion policy is that you can't have the IP of other companies represented on your models.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
So, if you've got, say, Epic Magnus landing on a
Cara
space...
Sloane's out then, because Cara Sloane's got Eldar arm. But you would never know.
What?
My Cara Sloane conversion has got an Eldar arm.
Right.
Well, that wouldn't be allowed anyway, because that's a piece from another manufacturer that produces their own game.
That's only if you go to Lock and Load, or you run into one of the official events at Gen Con, or it's a very limited pool that they've changed. You know, I'll just describe this on the show, shall I?
Yeah.
I'll get the official conversion policy up, actually. Privateer Press conversion. Because apparently, News on Minis had a 3/4 of an hour rant about it. And they very heavily laid into them for it. I was like, okay.
PP laid heavily into them for it, or?
No, News on Minis. They said, well, I've got friends who now can't play their entire army. And it's like, yeah, but PP have always been kind of not that hot on conversions.
No.
They've always, you know, and this is only for their official events, which are very, very limited. Where are we? Organized play. Where's the errata on the bloody site?
It's on the right hand side.
Is it? Is it now?
Yeah, where's last time I looked?
Ah, there we go. About halfway down. May 9th errata. So I don't want to get the wording on that squad coherency thing wrong.
I don't care.
Well, it changes squad coherency.
There we go. When a model's special rule or spell allows its control to choose or target a friendly unit, all models in the unit must be in formation. Which
the model being cast upon should be in formation. That's what it should say. The target model must be in formation. That's what it should say. Because I think that's the intention.
but
no,
there's a good reason for that. Because if you're targeting a model with a buff, you're targeting that specific model.
No, if you're targeting a unit, you're still picking a model to target. You don't need line of sight to one model. You don't need line of sight to the whole unit. You only need line of sight to one model.
This is the whole thing. You could put a buff on one model unit still.
Yeah.
The reason I've said unit, entire unit.
Yeah.
As in, so you don't cast it on target model, because a model...
Let's do it in the podcast. Why are we doing it now?
Yeah, fair enough. I can kind of see why they've done it, but there's an awkward way around it in my head. Right. Should we do the Welsh Open first, or should we do that second half?
I don't care.
All right, Grumpy Pants. Chill. Actually,
Chill.
I'll get the.
Good.
I'll get Resnick.
You do that.
The thing as well.
Are you sure?
Well, why not?
You've got the right trousers on for it.
Actually, I'm wearing shorts.
Giant spaceship. Sorry, I just found it.
Let's get some pictures up so that I can talk about it.
Phoenix in the water. There it is.
Oh, what is that noise?
That's the Phoenix in the water.
That was horrible.
I remember seeing X-Men 2 in the cinema, getting so excited about the Phoenix in the water. Well, it was fun.
Right. Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, the Hordes and War Machine podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm Mike.
I'm Alex.
I'm Kurt, and that's not me soaring.
But there wasn't any soaring there.
Is it you snoring then?
It was me snoring instead, you're right.
It might be me snoring fairly soon. This week we're going to talk about some stuff. Particularly the Welsh Houghton.
Can we also talk about some things?
Yes, things and stuff. It's a very important sort of mix of the two sides of wargaming we've got there.
Excellent.
Yes. Up first, should we talk about some new models? Some new shinies that people can buy?
Shiny! Yeah, the trouble is, I've just been playing pigs, and I'm just like, I want to play some trolls. And then this huge great thing appears on the website and causes me so much conflict I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, shall we start with what you're clearly talking about, which is Epic Resnick?
Oh my god. It's huge, it's great, it's fantastic, it looks very dangerous, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, it looks big and dangerous. That's about the best description you can give of it. Oh, the horses look an awful lot like the Cadre gun carriage ones. Only Menoth get two different horses.
Perfect.
Which I'm not really happy about.
Why?
One. Why are you shortchanging Cadre PP so continuously? You
That's
debug
what every faction says that, so shut up. Because Cricks do nothing but bleat on about how they're shortchanging at the moment. Might be true. Don't care. But Mr. Brown. But it looks awesome. Love it.
Looking at the model, it is Resnick on a very chunky chariot. With
fills the base really well.
Hey, it's Conjurer.
Yeah. Given that it's basically one bloke and two horses, that is an impressive sort of scale to be going at. And it looks good. Also, racked people off the back so you can just, presumably deploy them halfway around the battlefield. It's all good. I'm still going to complain about the fact that, Menoth get two horse poses and Cadre doesn't. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. He's going to die a bit easy, unfortunately. That's the only thing. I hope there's a way of keeping him very much alive.
Well, he's got that built-in wind wall, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, as long
I
as...
don't remember the rules. Which book is he in? Is it Vengeance?
I don't know. Presumably.
Good. We're so on the game here, aren't we? I don't know which book he's from. I've got Vengeance.
I'll be honest at this point. I didn't buy the last book, primarily because War Room updates automatically, and I have all the cards.
Yeah.
So unless I desperately want to read the fluff, which at the moment I have a lot of other stuff to read, I don't particularly need to buy the most recent book, which will undoubtedly have errata as soon as it comes out anyway. Whatever.
I'm fairly confident in wagering that he is from Vengeance, though.
Yes. Given that the next book for War Machine is a good while down the track, given that we've got another Hordes book to go first, and we're starting to see the first kind of little images from that. I mean, we've seen sort of, what is it, the Bacon Reaver and was it the female Gator and...
We've seen a lot of concept art for that book as well, with like
Yes.
the battle engines and stuff for the Gators and...
Yes, and the War Beast packs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. But anyway, yes, we're digressing. Why
would we do that?
So yes, that's Resnick. He's shiny, and as always with Menoth, will probably be an utter arse to paint.
Yes, that kind of goes with the territory.
Like, yes, I want more filigree here and more armor plates here. Why have one armor plate when you can have 17?
Yeah, all with metallic edging on it, but with a different colour plate. And to fit it in with the rest of the scheme, you've got to go with that. You can't just cheat. And, yeah, it takes forever. Definitely separate horses and chariot and Resnick, and then assemble after. It's not me sanding, I'd like to say. And yes, a lot more racks.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be painful. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next one, which on my list is Gaston Cross.
Oh, is he gone? I had him. No, I can't find him. Where's he gone?
He's on the PP front page below.
I know, I had them all open, I thought, and I can't find it now. Oh, there he is. Oh, I know I closed him because he's the... Oh, the mercenary. Ah, so that's the one that I won. But we'll come back to that.
Yeah. He looks fitting for a mercenary.
It's quite different to the other pose, isn't it?
I haven't got the other pose open. What is the other pose?
I'm just going to grab it. It's got more open arms, I think. Actually...
This is thrilling. I mean, just,
Sorry, I've just gone... I was reaching for the model, because I happen to have it.
Yes. Well, I have all of them.
Actually, it's not so different, actually. Sword in hand. Okay, yeah. I'll shut up. I can't actually tell because it's in several bits and I haven't assembled it yet because I'm not playing Mercs much at the moment. I know it'd be called in Signar too.
There we go.
That pose doesn't thrill me particularly, but the rules of the model are really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to be popular. He's going to appear in a lot of lists, I think.
Oh yeah, for cheap vanguards and just having a magical two-shot gun. I mean, what more do you want? And also for mercs, and this is just brilliant, taking the focus pressure off the Warcaster. That is absolutely huge in some armies, especially people like McBain. Like, I need to upkeep 3 different things, and my feet relies on me having focus. Right, you can have the Warjacks. The only shame there is that Jackhammer has the battle group, so... But, yeah, Gaston's model looks about right. It's got some nicely patched up trousers and looks kind of like he's got mismatched bits of armour grabbed from here, there and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of fitting.
I should probably at some point open these things up to have a look at them.
Yes, you should, Alex. If you wish to
but your connection will break if you do that, won't it?
Maybe. We'll see. Let's take it for a spin. Yeah, it's loud whirring or anything like that.
So are we going to wait for him to get to Gaston before we move on?
No, it's fine.
Okay, fair enough. The next one on...
It does encounter... the trouble is, I know that I've got 2 young girls asleep upstairs, but I can't help with the computing the beast with him. That's all I'm going to say.
No one drinks like Gaston.
You're not the first person to mention that one.
It's just... yeah. I think he decorates with antlers. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Okay, so the next one on my list is Ilara, Tyro of the Third Chamber.
Is she a junior?
Yeah.
Yes. I think would it be the junior Warcasters we're talking about here are the standard release poses for the models released in the War Machine Tactics Kickstarter.
Was this Retribution one in Tactics as well?
Yes.
All right, I didn't realise it was added later, I assume, because
no,
I didn't remember seeing it before.
It was day one. They're on the War Machine Tactics Kickstarter page that I've just checked. Let's have a look at the difference between the poses, I suppose.
Yeah.
I vastly prefer the original, the Kickstarter one. I have to say, and I don't think this is bad. I'm just not sure what she's doing with her left leg.
What wouldn't you like to know?
It's like, okay, if you're running, that leg should already be down. You might be trying to roundhouse kick someone, in which case you've overbalanced.
Leaping around something.
Could be.
Running sideways, leaping over something. It is rather high, I agree.
Yeah.
Jumping, mid-jump. It's mid-jump. It's jump just before the right foot leaves the ground.
Okay, yeah, I can potentially see that. I
made it up, I don't know.
Yeah. It works well enough. No, I don't like that as much as the Kickstarter version. I mean, it's still a decent model. I just think the Kickstarter version is better.
Well, then should that not be the case?
That's an interesting comment to make. Because a lot of people, if it's like, oh well, if the special versions for Kickstarter, why should we bother with the normal at all? So, yeah, I don't know. It's big and open to discussion. Anyone else got any thoughts on that? 'Cause, otherwise, it is just.
It's a very cool dynamic model. I like it. I don't remember what the original Kickstarter looks like because I haven't got the page open.
The original one, it looks very much like a concept art where except she's got feet on the ground, rather than being in the what is it, the fastball special?
Yeah.
So she looks like she's just running forward, swinging both weapons around. Although, given that those weapons are a bit insane, it's odd. Yeah. So that's Elara. Next up, we have the Predator. I mean, Iarkos. Scourge of the Meridius. That's the Crix one.
Oh, the Crix one, right? The Crix one. I can't see that one. Let's go back to the homepage. Where's that gone? I thought I was very prepared. Clearly, I am not very prepared.
You just opened up like the Mercenary, the Merc, and the
There he is. No, I got him. I did have him open. He doesn't look very Crix. I know he kind of looks Crix, but I was like, what is he?
He does look more human than the original sort of.
Do you know what I thought he was? Well, I didn't read it properly. I thought he was brain gone, not Cold Serious. Get that out of my head. The other guys, with the brutes and the.
Oh.
He looks a lot like the gigantic monstrosities.
Yeah.
That have been previewed fairly recently. The what's that called? Syphilis.
Yes.
He does bear some resemblance to them. I'm like, I thought he was one of them. I thought he was a seller for that, but obviously it's in amongst the others.
I think it's the covered eyes more than anything. It's very weird because on the Kickstarter page, I know that the lighting is weird on the promotion art, but it looks almost like he's got some very green or extremely pallid skin, whereas there it's quite pinky almost. Well, that's the paint.
Doesn't I mean the armor looks Crixy and the rest of him looks more pirate-y, I suppose, but that's the idea.
Yeah, well, Scourge of the Meridius, so.
You know more about those kind of things than me.
Yeah, he's still got his sort of his hook blade and his chain harpoon. So, yeah, that's working. I think that worked about as well as the Kickstarter sculpt for me. The Kickstarter sculpt is very much more, I'm going to stand here and throw my harpoon and then punch you with this spike. This one a little bit more charging forwards. So,
yeah.
It's a decent sculpt. Alex, any thoughts?
Excellent, Alex. Very well put back. It's amazing what you come out with. Insightful and ingenious, I'd say as well. Yeah, it wasn't Mark Miller though, was it, Alex? No.
Really? We're referencing that, are we?
It's not as good.
Well, he wasn't gonna. He's half asleep. Sorry, Max. Is that Alex going?
Have we sent you to sleep and we've just woken you up?
No, I may have had the mic on mute. I may not.
Nice. Good work.
Yeah. Right, on to the next one.
Quite funny. I've never done that ever on this podcast much.
Kovnik Malakov.
Oh, I haven't opened him because it's the red one and there's no point in that.
Who doesn't get a funky title. His original sculpt, he's sort of pointing his sword into the...
It looks the same as far as I can see.
Well, no, his original one, he's got his sword pointing into this. He's very much more of a Valachev, you go over there. Whereas the one on Kickstarter, he's got 1 foot up, sword's at his side, and it looks like he's either just fired or just is about to fire his hand cannon. They're both kind of getting the fact that he's meant to be a slightly arrogant ass, which is about right for Cadre Journeyman.
Yeah.
Given they don't have many. No, I think either sculpt's good, but he has gone more from a sort of Valachev look to an Irusk look.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Does
Maybe
look
he's
more.
trying to work on his image.
Yes.
I went the wrong way.
Yeah. Cadre PR has
Yeah.
talked to him and gone, listen, son, we need more of an Irusk. An Irusk 2, if you will. So if you can grab a flag as well, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, they've all these models have got roughly the same amount of detail, because I suspect they've done off very similar parts of the digital sculpt. A bit of manipulation to change between them. I don't know though, so that may just be
Who knows?
skeptical. Next one up is Initiate Tristan Durant, or Durant, or however the heck you want to pronounce it.
I quite like this model. I can't. Again, I've been too lazy to go and get the Kickstarter, but I like that post.
The Kickstarter is very much more. It looks like he's about to be charged, and he's winding up for a backswing.
Yeah, that's what I remember. But this looks better. I like this. Wind blowing his cloaks and stuff, and his hand raised, and a kind of.
I think this is maybe more fitting, because if he's taking a charge, he's already dead.
As they all are.
Yes, pretty much. Stiff breeze will take most of these down, quite frankly. But this one, doing the casting, that's kind of more suited to what he's going to be doing. Although I don't think he'll be taking many arc nodes at Focus 4. But it is nicely dynamic. He does have a lot of robe flowage going on.
Yes, like it.
So that's good.
I think robe flowage is actually a technical term, is it? No.
Robe flowage.
It is.
Well, they've definitely taken it from like a 0.5 to a 0.75 for this model on the robe flowage scale.
Who was it's Charles Robe, wasn't it? Invented the robe flowage scale.
Yes, quite. Okay.
I thought it was Carl Flowage.
Oh no, he was in a different continent at the time, and I believe had issues with I was going to say malaria, but morphine was where I was going to really go. But malaria possibly as well.
This joke is going nowhere fast.
God, it's rather good.
Okay, the final one is Lieutenant Alison Jakes, who's gone from a sort of pointing both sword and dagger at something to
Alicia, what's the name? Fuck, I've forgotten her name. Lalian, fucking the original Warcaster. Yeah, it's almost Ashlyn's original pose, isn't it?
I see now. I'm thinking, yes, you could do a very tasty Ashlyn conversion with that figure. Completely illegal for tournament play, of course, but yeah.
I like her. I don't know what I spell this time, but I like her.
Yeah. Geez.
There's 3 journeymen, 2 characters and 1 non that Signal could throw in now.
Yes.
That is quite excessive, isn't it?
Well, they can have a game with. Actually, can they take Rauschenbrine or?
Both. They take the bear. They can take Rauschenbrine, and they could probably take Snapjaw. They can't take Snapjaw, can they? They could take the bear.
That's horrendous. How many battle groups can you have on the table at any one time as Signar?
Yeah, good luck with time turns.
Well, no, you would, because you'd have a very limited number of models.
I suppose because it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, let's take a look. So let's just random caster, Signar solo. So that would be the Journeyman, Jakes. Then you've got the what's his name? Gaston Cross. They're listed as mercenaries.
Yeah.
So I thought he was going to scroll down to Mint. can they
Where are you
take?
going? This is now going really dead and quiet. What are you trying to say?
I'm looking at how many different battle groups they can have on the table at any one time. Oh, they can't have Brun and Lug.
Oh, they can't really.
No.
They're with Signar.
Nope.
Wow.
So
What
they
about
can
the snake thing? No, they're hordes. They're snake thing, and they'll only work for the
only one
elves.
they work for in War Machine is Retribution.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different battle groups with control areas on the table at any one time. That's quite sickening. And also up to 4 Colossals. Don't you just feel a little bit of, like, you know, awful? Just imagine if the Dwarves had got one that worked for Signar as well. No?
Sorry. Say that again.
Just imagine if the Dwarves had got a Journeyman that worked for Signar as well.
Oh God. Right.
So, yeah. Well, that said, Galleon is not listed on the mercenary war checks you can take on Forward Commander. I suspect that may be a bug. Because there's no reason that Gaston couldn't take a Galleon.
No.
So,
You're mad, but no.
well, take 2 Galleons, 2 Storm Walls. That's
Into
perfectly.
the shower? No.
Okay. So I think that's the end of the.
I think so.
Excellent.
Well, we've contributed, Alex. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I know. I can't really say how helpful I am. You know, it's just beyond words.
Okay. So I've just realised that the thread I have open for the next part of the conversation is in fact one that's dated 4 years ago. So that may not be the most.
Well done. That was stat 4 years ago.
I know.
We weren't doing this podcast 4 years ago. nearly, but not quite 4 years ago.
Yes, it does constantly amaze me that there are still occasionally episodes recorded.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But they're lost and broken and dropped. And...
Not so much anymore. They just go up on YouTube.
Yay.
Oh, you just sound like a complete bundle of fun. Yeah.
Yay.
So, the next topic we have, when I can find it, because it appears to have actually disappeared off the main forums, which is... So I may have to cut this bit out while I search for the actual thread.
La la la! Outstanding radio. Dun, 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 dun. And soaring in the background is fantastic.
Well, he can soar all he likes at this point because I am.
You're actually going to edit part of the podcast out. No, you still haven't done. That wasn't long enough.
It's actually disappeared.
What is it? Is this Welsh Oak?
No, this is the new PP conversion policy.
I think you made it up, you made it up, you made it up.
I definitely didn't make it up.
Oh, I definitely didn't make it up, meaning I might
She's
have.
getting defensive now.
Yeah.
Good sign. Definitely did make it up.
My search foo is weak. So now this exists because there's been moaning about it on about 4 or 5 different podcast recently. Right, let's search single content type. Priority press discussion. Conversion. Title. Search. Ah, there we go. Official conversion policy addendum.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Right. Having found it, I thought it was worth a bit of discussion. In that there has been an addendum to the official conversion policy, which Alex is now going to sort bits and saw things over.
Yes, I'm converting things.
Yes.
Are they... let's not ask. It's going to be fucking ninjas, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not fucking ninjas, actually.
Fucking ninjas. Are they not fucking this time?
Right.
Actually a bit tired.
They're a bit tired, having a bit of a rest. But like, they're relaxing, lying down ninjas. Exhausted.
Smoking.
Ninjas. Smoke.
You quite finished, gentlemen?
Smoking ninjas. Sorry, that entertained me. Smoking ninjas.
What were
That's
they?
good. Like it.
Right. Okay. Actually, people.
Alex, are you playing your
With myself.
Ninja game on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
I don't think so. Why?
Oh, shame. Anyway, sorry, Mike. Go on.
You just wanted to mock him while he's playing Bushido.
I wanted to go up and look, comment on how many of them were smoking, what they'd been up to beforehand.
You
Wasn't
can
to
agree
relax so much.
pipes onto all of them before then.
There is
Sorry?
actually there's a model for one of the factions that is actually already smoking a pipe. So who knows what he's
Fantastic. All you need now is an escort to stand in an adjacent area. You'll be well away.
It's called wins.
Right. Anyway,
Oh, sorry.
yes, PP put out an errata, or
I've
an
heard that.
addendum rather, that says, out of respect for other creators' intellectual property and to protect the integrity of our own media, we cannot feature model conversions that are representative of another party's intellectual property or use iconic elements, iconography, or likenesses that may be copyrighted or trademarked by another company.
So no skulls.
Possibly. It does go on to say non-privateer press parts are allowed when converting a model. However, if you plan to participate in an organised play event or a privateer press painting competition or challenge, please take care to respect the intellectual property of other creators and companies and understand that your converted miniatures may be disallowed from event or competition if they do not meet the standards of this policy. Iconic elements include, but are not limited to, logos, symbols, weapons, helmets, armor, costumes, and costume color schemes, character likenesses, and creature designs.
So
Skulls.
basically, blue and gold, which is pretty strong iconography of Ultramarines, not allowed.
So no blue. Yeah. Signar bans all of Signar. That's, I can't really play about that.
Red, Blood Angels, obviously not allowed to go with red.
Yeah, no Cadre, yeah.
I think it would be referring to actually a specific color scheme. So, for instance, if you were, say, I don't know, a massive Harlequins rugby fan and had painted all your steelheads with Harlequin shirts on, then that would be a problem. One other thing to take into account with this is that this is only at Privateer Press official events.
This is up there with Games Workshop saying you couldn't paint your Titans as hockey players. That was a long time ago.
What?
There was an issue with a painting competition where somebody turned up with a whole lot of Titans painted up as hockey players. It's a long time ago. They were awesome. Warlord Titans all playing hockey. It was fantastic, and it got completely kicked out of the painting competition. They changed the rules after as well. because it wasn't in line with the general theme of the game.
Yeah. Well, I think this is more of an issue of that if Privateer are holding an event, generally they're going to want to take photos, have video, and use that to publicise the company.
Yeah.
Which, if, as part of their advertising, they're including, let's say, not to pick on anything particular, but I know there is a player with skink and lizardmen parts on their Gatorman army. If you're then saying, look at this fantastic army, and half the parts are Games Workshop parts, with quite clear Games Workshop sort of...
Skulls.
Not skulls.
Well, there is a that I've seen on the PP forums, a Crix player whose Crix army does have a lot of GW skulls into their heads.
Skulls.
Skulls for the skull god.
You can see why they would do this for their own events, I think.
No, it's completely rational.
Well, for most events are going to be completely unaffected. Because they're not run by PP. They might be run by a press ganger, but they're not Privateer Press official events. I mean, for instance, I can tell you for a start, none of this is going to apply at the Expo Masters. Because...
Damn.
Yeah, you can't get yourself disqualified on game one.
But I can.
Well, you can, just not through this.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So, for instance, you could walk up to Alex, kick him in the shins. Okay, bad example. You could walk up to Chris, kick him in the shins, and that would probably get you disqualified.
So you're trying to say if you kick me in the shins, it won't get you disqualified?
I might cheat. But yeah, I mean, how do we feel about this?
I don't really mind.
You're struggling to care, aren't you?
I really am. I thought it was a really interesting point until we read the with the detail of it, and I got to detail. And I was like, that affects such a small number of people. I
mean, you can kind of see why, because you can get bits from Games Workshop kits relatively cheaply, or by just going to your average club and going, does anyone have any leftover skulls? Obviously, the case is no with most Games Workshop figures, because you get bonus points for how many you put on the model.
The thing is, we've always known you've not been allowed to put GW parts on your on PP models. That's always been the case.
But the thing is, and as will continue to be the case, that a lot of tournaments would allow that anyway.
Yeah, but then it's like you say, official PP.
Exactly.
Has always been the case that you're not allowed any. Because my understanding of it was previously, you're not allowed any third-party kits if they produce their own game. Obviously, they're taking it a bit further with regards to their IP.
Yeah. I think it's a logical extension of what's already out there.
Yeah.
Really. I know there has been some sort of controversy about this out there in the community, with people kind of very much up in arms. Yes, if you are planning to go to lock and load with a completely converted army that's, uses lots of Space Marine armor, that's going to be disappointing for you. And I could completely appreciate where those people are coming from in saying, look, I've got 4 months and I don't have any legal models left because I've converted everything. And that would be disappointing, but at the same point, you can understand where they're coming from, and I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think the sky is falling.
No, it's not. You can't convert anything. Far from it.
Yeah. I mean, you can still convert, you can repose, you can head swap, you can do what the heck you like.
Doesn't sound like it makes my car slowly illegal.
Well, yes, it depends on how much it's deemed that armour is infringing on GW.
No, it's one arm, and it really doesn't look like it doesn't come from the model itself.
So, I think the key thing there would be to actually talk to the EO.
Or not declare it.
It would be hard to spot.
It would be very hard to spot.
I wouldn't recommend that, though.
I like declaring my bouncer.
Oh, is this your bouncer that doesn't include any bouncer parts?
No, it includes 2 bouncer parts: the head and the shield. Nothing else. And yeah, I've shown it to several TOs, you included, and gone, can I use this as a bouncer? And they give me like a weird kind of, it's a trick question. Are you trolling me? What? It is a bouncer. Well, this bit's bouncer and this bit's bouncer, the rest of it's not bouncer. What?
I think this is the whole issue of being reasonable and saying, does this look like the model it's meant to be? Yes, it does.
It looks more like the model than the original model does.
I'll go to the TO. If there's anything particularly suspect, I'll say,
I'll kick him in the nuts.
Look, there's this. Is this still okay? And in some cases, I mean, I, for instance, have an Ashlyn model that just barely scrapes by the conversion policy as was. I think it still does because there's no logos or anything on there. But it is like, it's on a technicality. It's like less than 50% of the volume of the model is the original, but 50% of the parts are the original. It kind of scrapes by. And just in case, I do have another painted Ashlyn that's just the vanilla model. So if you've got anything that's likely to break the conversion rules, buy another. Hate to say it, but or don't go to PP official events.
I'd have to admit, even the bouncer, I carry my old blue one around with me because it's the original one, all painted up, sat in the case, just in case. Nobody's ever even queried it. I've just got weird looks about that. That's my most converted model, I think.
Yeah, and the whole thing is a lot of playing War Machine is, despite the fact you're facing off against an opponent, it's almost a team effort with them, in that you're going, right, you know, is this modelling? Can I do this? What's your intention with that? You know, just communicating with the other person and making sure. And your conversions are another part of that. So, okay. I think we've discussed.
Yeah, not really bothered.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a new errata as well. Now, there's not an awful lot in here. A lot of it is just the same thing spelled out about 15 times. There is one that changes the name of some units.
Oh yeah, the pirates, yeah.
Not just pirates. We no longer have... it's the gun mages, isn't it?
Oh yeah, them too.
Yeah, they're no longer... there we go. They're no longer Arcane Tempest gun mages. They are Arcane Tempest gun mage pistoliers.
Because there'll be something else coming out. Something else.
So someone out there is clearly hoping for Arcane Tempest gun mage rifleman.
Yep.
Later.
Sounds quite obvious.
I'm making that call there. A lot of it is apparently to do with theme forces and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I thought so.
Basically, your stuff will continue to work as it did. It just has a new name. So,
good.
Yeah. The one that is going to change things more than that, though, is the one that is on page 4 of the errata document, referring to... Add the following to the spells and effects text. When a model's special rule or spell allows its controller to choose or target a friendly unit, all models in that unit must be in formation.
Not just the model you're targeting that happens to in order to affect the whole unit.
Yeah.
Because you still need a model to target even when you're shooting a unit, don't you? You still
Well, no, you're targeting a unit, and you can take any point in that unit.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, right. But the whole unit, not just the point you're targeting, must be in formation.
Yeah.
Or you can't get it off.
Yeah.
I know I understand what that's to prevent. It just seems a bit kind of really okay.
I do think for like 80% of games, that's not going to have any effect at all. However, against stuff that's got a lot of telekinesis, pull and push effects, you're going to start finding some interesting interactions, especially if they can also clear off buffs, or if you need to cycle buffs every turn, or something like that. I think we're going to have to wait and see how that one plays out. I do think most players will cope, though, simply because it says keep your unit in formation, otherwise you can't be buffed. Oh, fair enough. I mean, it stops that occasional player who parks, one skinwalker on the back of the board and says, that's going to be my target for this.
Oh, that's interesting. So what it does is it complicates Morvana to an extent where you keep a model at the back so the whole unit can't get wiped out, but suddenly you can't put spells on them because they're not in unit coherency.
Yeah. It is somewhat minimal, but you can start doing things with leader sniping now. I mean, realistically, it only used to be possible for things like Doom Reavers or what are the Scorn ones that are similar? Annihilators.
Oh yeah.
It only used to be possible for units like those, where you have sort of a decent spread of a unit because they've got Berserk and Reach, but at the same time a low command value, in that they're both command 7, I think. Well, I know for the Doom Reavers. So for units like that, leader sniping is now very possible. I know that some people have said, "Oh, well, this prevents Cadre and the Winter Guard and Joe."
Is it bollocks?
I don't think people have quite grasped. I mean, let's forget the fact the Winter Guard are pretty much out of the meta at the moment. If you've got the Winter Guard with UA and Joe, you've got a front line of troops that are 9 inches away from a leader model. Or it might even be 10. Anyway, I think it's 10. That are 10 inches away from a leader model. That's 10 inches away from the standard.
Yep.
That's another 10 inches away from Joe.
And it was all in coherency.
Yes.
Yep, doesn't make any difference to that at all. Well, it's the Morvana stuff that it will cramp. Because what's the spell they put? She likes to put on things that means they ignore tough and stuff. What's that spell? Oh,
Carnival.
Sorry?
Carnival.
Carnival doesn't ignore tough, does it?
No, I think that is the buff spell that she likes to put on.
That's what you put on. Sorry, it doesn't ignore tough. I think it's something else.
But it adds to mat and allows for healing on kills.
Yeah, so
healing of herd, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can't put that on, but it can upkeep it on them, can't you?
Yeah, so you can put it on. If someone gets out of formation, oh well, never mind.
But what it does do is, if someone's out of formation and somebody knocks the spell off, then you can't put it back on with the person out of formation. That's what it does do.
It does partially encourage occasionally, oh, I'm out of formation. Well, I'll kill the out of formation guy with another unit, and then I can put the buff back on. And I think we've all had to have those times where it's like, I don't want to kill my own guy, but I kind of have to in this instance.
I never have ever killed any of my own guys or charged my own guys in order to get a line, or especially not sprayed through my own pigs with my Roadhog.
I still think my favourite one was the moment where I realised that I needed to get Sorsha to kind of a specific place on the table for her feet. But I couldn't get her there because of a line of Winter Guard, so before Hammer just went, okay, Joe, stand still, shoots that guy in the back. Oh dear, he dies. Right, now he gives the unit Tough and Fearless. So it's just kind of, setting them up so that Sorsha can go through nice and easily, and also being appropriate for Cadre. It's like, you ran in the face of the enemy. Boom. It's not quite a commissar, but close. So yeah, I think it's something to bear in mind, especially if you're facing something like the new Nexus. Alex.
Yes?
You're failing again.
No, I'm not failing. I'm just filing.
Fair enough. As far as I'm aware, there's not much else in the errata document other than that that's kind of that important. We've got Sea Dogs referred to as boarding crew, and what is it, the NIS for Legion have had some changes. Other than that, oh sorry,
When we say the NIS for Legion, does that mean that Legion can now take NIS?
No. That'd be nonsense, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Sorry, what he means is the Striders have changed their name slightly, and what else? And all the Strider-related UAs and solos have changed their name slightly.
Yes.
That's what you meant, wasn't it?
There we go. Blighted NIS Strider has changed to... yes, there we go. Strider Rangers have changed to Legion Blighted NIS.
Yes.
Yeah, in a subtype. It's... I mean, do we have to have this discussion about maybe it is time for PP to start putting out updated card decks? Because, I mean, we're at, what now, 15 pages of errata. I realise the game has been out for 4 years in its Mark II incarnation now.
Yeah. I think that's insane. I don't think that's that bad.
Well, I don't think we need a version overhaul. I think that would just that would be too much. I realised that 40k is going through a version change after just 2 years.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that.
I know they're normally on a 4-year cycle, which is fine. PP's had 2 versions in 10 years. Well, they're going to 11. But I think maybe it is time, with the amount of errata that we have, to actually say, okay, we need to start considering a Prime revised or Prime remix and a reprint of all affected cards. Because at the moment, you're starting to see the cards diverging more and more, and some stuff having had 2 or 3 different errata to it. And it's potentially becoming more unfriendly for those people coming to their first event.
Oh, that's when it catches you out, I suppose, isn't it? It's the you play with the book at home, it's all fine. You go to an event, and go, oh yeah, but this rule and this rule and this rule, this rule, these were all added months and months ago, last year.
Yeah, I mean, I realise for those people who buy their models, don't keep in touch with the QT, and come to their first tournament 3 years later, it's still going to be a problem for them. But for the people buying new models, if you're issuing revised cards, then it's suddenly a lot less of a problem, because they buy the model, they've got the errata in place. All you have to do is put, like Malifaux did, a V2 in the corner of the card, and people know, yes, this is... Alex briefly decided to turn his video there to show us these.
Excellent.
That's nice.
My phone doesn't like me today, it would seem.
No!
On several occasions.
Oh, yeah, but you know what it is, don't you? Day ends in a Y, that's what it is.
That's it.
Who's going to watch those?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about something like that?
Okay, I'm not sure what the question is now.
About having either a Prime revised, stroke Prime remix, or a reprint of the affected cards.
I don't know. I don't think the errata is a massive change. I mean, it would be disturbing if you went to first thing. I remember the remix thing coming out before Mark II and stuff, and that was quite good. And I bought the new book because it made things easier. So maybe a Prime remix is the answer, because I bought that before 2 came out when I was playing, the first one, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
That was in line with not long after I'd started, so
I mean,
I came in right at the start of Halls.
Prime remix, those that sort of unaware, in Mark 1, you had the original Prime. It took a bit of a beating rules-wise. So several years later, after the errata, they came back and they said, okay, we're going to put all the errata to the main book in here. We're going to tighten up some of the rules. We're going to put the errata for the other books we've released in the back, and then reprint the whole thing as this is the replacement for your original Prime.
There's more pretty pictures in it and more colour.
Yes, it's still the same game, very much at its core, but with all those little tweaks, like the original Prime had no rules for cavalry. Prime remixed it.
Yeah.
Just little things like that that introduced along. I mean, it's like the rules pages you get at the start of each one of the expansion books, saying these are the rules for Colossals, these are the rules for
Pajama parties.
And they slotted those into the main rules as well, along with the little bits of tightening up they'd had to do
No rules for jump.
related to those.
Sorry, toga parties. I'm sorry. Sorry, this is the wrong word.
So I mean that's what Prime Remix was for those people who are kind of unaware of it.
Blissfully, you might say.
I think blissfully unaware of Mark 1 is probably a good. I mean, not that Mark 1 was a bad game. It just wasn't anywhere near the game we have now.
There was a slight balance issue.
You mean Cricks?
No, just everything.
Everything was out of balance. Everything was overpowered. Everything.
Oh, do you really want to go back to the days of Mark 1 Vlad 2? Where you do things like feat with him, throw a Draken that would then not be knocked down, not have to sacrifice anything, was it 2d3 or d3 plus 1?
Oh, before you got
D3.
sacrifices regardless of rules like that, wasn't it? Because now, of course, if you get thrown and you can't be knocked down, you still can't activate properly because you've been thrown.
Yeah. So he could just activate properly, waltz off through the enemy army, have multiple attacks, and a PNS 17 weapon master.
It's a nice troll like that as well, yeah.
But then there was other stuff like Winter Guard that was pretty much unplayable. But then again, you could argue the same about some units now. Anyway, diverging. Did you have any thoughts on that, Alex? Or
He's muted again.
no, he hasn't. He hasn't got the logo for muted this time. He's a talkative fella. I reckon his phone's broken again. The North is a cruel mistress.
It is. As is the moon.
Yes.
Harsh is the moon, actually, isn't it? To quote properly.
Yes.
I think actually, when you asked the question initially, I was like, don't care. And then I was like, actually, you know what? Now it's getting to that point. New players coming in, a Mark 2.5 or 2.1, in order to kind of have that as an updated Prime would be good. I don't advocating a Mark 3. I don't think there's any necessity for a Mark 3 at all. That's overkill, really. It's all the cards and everything. There's so much stuff now. I don't want to change the whole game. Let's not get it like 40k. Or how many versions? I just bought one. Oh, I'm sorry. Not only that, I have just bought one as well. Super huge book.
Well, they're actually changed to 3 smaller books now that you have to buy together.
Oh, so it really is like Mark 2. I heard it was like Mark 2. I used to really enjoy Mark 2. Anyway, yes.
So yes. Things.
Stuff potato sandwich.
Yes. I think,
no, Liam has not been giving me trick things to say. That was just random.
Okay. Other games are certainly sort of getting away with releasing collected errata into rulebooks. I know that maybe a bit too often on that end of the scale is
Spartan.
You
see where you're going, yeah.
Yes, because they have proofreading issues.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'll presume so. I mean, their games are very fun, and
They are a very small company.
I do deeply love their models.
They are such a small company compared to all the other players.
Well, you say that, but there are some like 4 and 5 man gangs out there, and I can imagine Spartan sort of being in that 5
No,
to...
but it's a couple of dozen done.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 to 20, but yeah, a couple of dozen. But still, I mean, that's...
I don't know. I would have to inquire to find out exactly how many people work over in Shepton, but it's not. It's I don't know. It's probably around 20.
Yeah.
In the whole building.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are possibly one end of the scale. Privateer are desperately trying to be the other end and say, that's it. Mark II, we are done. I do think at some point they have to revisit that decision and go, okay, people are paying £25 for this rulebook. They should probably expect a 2014 edition with the errata in. Or a 2016 edition. Or,
I don't know, or maybe a collected kind of printed appendix. Kind of, so instead of reprinting Prime, print actually come out with an amendment book that is softback, thin, little, so as an easier way to get. But then it's online and it's free, and who isn't online? So it's a difficult one. I'm conflicted because it feels like a rip. It feels like a rip for them to charge us £10 for another book that we don't need because you buy War Room and you got all of it anyway. But
I mean, I will say there have been issues with this myself. Last year's Welsh Open, I was called upon to rule something in one of the games. It was a rule about light cavalry. I picked up the rulebook, read the relevant section, and said, yes, you can do this. It was only later that I remembered that entire section had been replaced in errata. It was to do with Epic Haley's Feet and a light cavalry move.
Right.
Essentially where if, under Epic Haley's Feet, if you sacrifice your action, then you can't light cav move under the errata.
Because you can't do it, because you have to do it after your action. If you don't have an action, you can't do it.
You have to complete your action. Which is a problem. But under the previous rules, it was at the end of your activation, you do this. So, I mean, that is the kind of issue you're probably going to run into at the moment. But, it's one of those things that's definitely up for discussion. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, we need a Mark III, oh, we need this. And I don't agree with that at this point. It doesn't feel the right time.
No. It's difficult. It's difficult because I'm conflicted in the whole thing. Is that, yes, that they could bring out a second edition of Mark II, so with the erratas built into the main core rulebook, perhaps that's probably not beyond, because then you don't have to buy it because it's online. But new players can come in and buy an up-to-date rulebook. It's been a couple of years, yeah, maybe. But on the other hand, it's online, so.
Yeah, I will say as well that for main rulebooks, PP are some of the most reasonably charging people. I know that their Forces of books are a little kind of on the pricier side, but they've always kept the main War Machine Prime rulebook fairly cheap, so it's a great way to get in. I think it's still...
Yeah, they do. They've always been very good at that.
Is it £25 for the softback edition in most places?
And the starter boxes are dramatically cheaper than the models are outside of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, if you're encouraging beginners to get in and you've got that cheap product, yeah... Or is this, and again, another encouragement to move to War Room?
I wouldn't be without War Room now. I mean, now that I've got...
War Room's the end. War Room is the end. Doom and gloom.
Well, this is the thing. At this point, I've got a tablet. I've got War Room. Other than the Irish Masters, I cannot remember the last time I used cards.
I use cards on the table because it's quicker and better. But because War Room to run a game is too slow. But to build armies and look at rules and sit in a random place, like on a train or at work or somewhere, and go, oh shit, blah, 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 blah. And my mind wanders and suddenly think about a list, or go, oh, does that actually tie together? Maybe it doesn't. And you look at the theme or list you want to look at, it's all there. The only thing that's not I can't find is the packs, the minion packs. I can't find them.
Minion packs and Merc
contracts.
Not the theme, what's the other contracts? They're not in there.
No, that's the only thing I could find. I was thinking, what are the special rules for the packs? And the only one I could remember was the minions, for the pigs, was that you get AD on your infantry, and there's something else, and I can't remember what it was.
See, you're saying that it's too slow to run a game.
Yeah, much.
I have played multiple Death Clock games while practicing for the Irish Masters.
Yeah, but you know your stats like I do, don't you? You don't need your cards for your stats.
I will be honest, with my Cadre, I don't look at cards except to mark damage.
Right, so if somebody says, what's the defense of that, and you're not confident, and you need to go and find it, it takes forever. So some of the guys I was playing at the Welsh, because obviously I did so well.
If you're on the fight screen, all you have to do is click the unit and it comes straight up. You don't have to go to the card. You just press the unit, not the portrait, and it brings up a short form of the stat line on the right-hand side.
I didn't know that.
Same for the spell list.
Okay.
Try it now.
No.
Oh, spoil sport. But well, again, you're saying, oh, I didn't know that. That's probably part of an education issue with War Room.
I don't mind. I quite like cards still. I think it's quicker. It's easy. You can look at the number. All the numbers are laid out in front of you. You can find them quickly and easily. I have a system where in the order I put cards out, I can always find the card very quickly. I know where it is on the table in front of me.
I think it depends on the level of game you're running. If you're running like 20 points Mangle Metal, just use the cards because it's a doddle. But if you're running like 50 points infantry heavy, multiple small units, you're probably best off with War Room because you're going to have a stack of cards a mile thick, or 2 sets of 9 pocket pages. And that's the point where you go, hang on, which one's it in? No, it's not on this sheet. Is it on the other one? No, I've left it in my folder. Hang on.
Can't be doing that. Yeah, no, but I know. But I'm pretty good with my cards. I know what I've got in each, and especially for trolls, I try and build a separate deck, bound up separately with every card in it for that army together to be able to pull straight out of the case and just throw on the table.
See, I when I was still playing with cards, I tended to have a large folder with all my cards in, the War Machine hordes, all the mercenaries and everything like that. And at the front would be the 9 pocket pages with my forces for the event I was at on, and then maybe like one experimental list behind, so that I go, okay, I'm using list 1, open the book up, and there it is. And I'll just have that army pre-prepared before an event. So, yeah. I can see them moving more toward digital. It does benefit them. You don't have to pay for publishing costs. You don't have to worry about this, oh, we need a remix. But at the same time, how many people still don't have a tablet or a mobile phone? Well, not a mobile phone, but a smartphone that will run well. And I think that's a very key issue.
I found upgrading now to a newer Samsung has meant that War Room runs properly. It didn't run very well on my S2. It runs very nicely on my S4. It's nice. It's a bigger screen as well. It runs everything much better.
Well, I've seen people trying to run it on iPhone 3s occasionally still. Just not built for that age of hardware.
No, it's the operating system. The S2 will only upgrade so far on itself, and it's also it's not quick enough. The faster phone I've got now just boots War Room so much more quickly and recovers from things more quickly and doesn't crash as much at all.
Yeah. I do still think that stability-wise, it is built for Apple devices first, and Android second. That is very, very clear just from what people say. So, anyway, I think we've got a decent discussion of that errata, even if we've gone onto a complete sidetrack. But hopefully it was vaguely interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, Kurt and I have had a very interesting conversation. And Alex was here.
And nobody mentioned Terry Gilliam at all.
Okay. Well, I think it's now time that we had a bit of a break, and then we can come back and discuss your exploits at the Welsh Open, Kurt. So we'll see you all on the other side. Ta-da!
Sorry, we're boring you, Alex.
No, not at all. Just hacking bits of plastic for the minute.
Well, actually, no, we can talk to you about that on the painting table. Right, I desperately need to get a drink because my throat is closing up and horrible and gunky. So I will be back in 5 minutes. don't break anything.
I don't know what the fuck's happening with my phone today.
Is it just cutting you off?
It just keeps, just booting me out. I don't know if it's the internet dropping or. So then it's allowed me to go straight back in again. So
I saw this PC down the back of my other sofa earlier on today. And I was like, "What the fuck's that there for?" And then I remembered. I haven't turned it on to test it, mind, but it's still sat there.
Turn it on and test it. Bring it down.
I'll see what I can do by Friday. I don't know what to plug it into to test it at the moment.
The socket is going to be a good show.
That gives you power, but doesn't show. You can't really see that it's working.
No.
I didn't remember last time I saw you. I can't remember. Face to face. Ages. It has.
It's been ages and ages. That's frustrating.
Sorcerer, there he is, right. 3D rotation, Sorcerer. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll put that arm all the way around, never mind. Seems to fit better that way. Yeah. Okay.
Not very well.
And that is why I won't do three shows a night. I won't do it.
That's why you won't do what?
3 shows a night.
Yeah, okay.
Did enjoy the Welsh Open. Did enjoy that a great deal.
Was Mike Teo in, or was he?
Yeah. He was assisting mine.
Martin's out though now, isn't he?
Nope.
He sold all his shit, hasn't he?
Nope.
Is he not? What's he got?
Nope. He was going to, and he didn't. Again. I understand that generally speaking, we get to the beginning of June, or very beginning of June, mine will just sell everything. But no. Nope, he's got support, and he's got assistance, and he's happy. He's going to do. I thought it was going to be the last Welsh. I asked him, he was like, I thought this was the last one. He was like, no, I'm happier now. I'm like, alright, fine.
He has sold a lot of his stuff though.
Yeah, he's always doing that though, isn't he? But I don't think he's kind of cleared out entirely.
He started radio control car racing again.
Oh, hang on. This is I feel like I'm in a time warp. Again. This feels like a conversation we've had before. Because it is a conversation we've had before.
He sold a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Right.
Older stuff on Facebook. Even down to trying to sell his Masters trophy.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah. And
Right.
he was told not to sell it by a lot of people. And he said, yeah, okay, get that.
I'm not sure who would buy a Masters trophy.
Well, I'd say he would buy it. B, even if he is getting out of the hobby, even if it's just for a short time, whatever, it's still a memory to kind of hold on to and say, you did that and you had success. Oh, Orc Truck. Almost done.
Orc truck, what on earth for?
40k.
You're playing orcs in 40k?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, that's why I can't remember the first question, you pedantic fuck.
I'm building orcs for 40k.
For whom?
Not for anyone in particular, but I've not yet played a game.
Oh, I see. Okay. You're being very pedantic. I've not played a game. I'm trying to. See, I was building Tyranids. I haven't played a game. I haven't looked at the new rule set yet. I only just bought it. I only just bought the old one until last year.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it's been less than 2 years since.
I thought it was a safe bet. It's a huge, great book. It's lovely. But then there's a new one, so I have to buy that soon. Because I quite like the idea of playing a bit of 40k. I've got some Tyranids that I would really enjoy getting on the table.
Try some Kill Team.
I've got enough stuff. I went mad on eBay and went, oh, I know, I'll buy pretty much all my Tyranids back plus a few other big things without spending a fortune, and did.
You probably ended up getting some of your own Tyranids back.
No, I didn't, because I know exactly where they went. They're still hiding in Yeovil somewhere, I think.
Fair enough.
I could probably bought them back if I tried hard enough.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that would involve money. Or
So
more
buying on eBay?
Well, I was going to say more money than...
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes, possibly. And less stuff for it. I got more stuff for my money from buying on eBay, I think. Because everyone was clearing out the Tyranids because they got new codex. Oh, shit, I don't want any more.
You know, that's a great time to... Anyway, should we move into the second half? Right.
Yes. Sorry.
Welcome back.
I think we should move on.
Yes.
I think we should move on. Mike, can we just move on?
Can we move on?
Um,
Can we move on, please?
we are here in the second half of the show to talk to Kurt.
Hello.
How was the Welsh Open?
It was
Welsh.
It was very Welsh. It was fun. I always like going to Cardiff. Cardiff for a weekend
I
is
hear the TO
entertaining.
lovely.
Who the hell did you hear that from?
I have my sources.
All right. Yeah, generous to a fault, and bribable with donuts. Definitely all weekend. Got away with so much just through a bag of donuts.
I didn't get any donuts.
Oh, sorry. Did I not give you any donuts? All right.
I was the main floor judge. Unless you were playing in the little room with Jimmy or just talking to Martin all weekend.
I was purely casting aspersions on the waistline of all three judges. That was all.
How dare you?
I know. It's good, isn't it? You didn't go for it, I suppose.
Casting nasturtiums.
Totally. No, I had a really good weekend all round. It started with Godzilla, which is always a good way to start a weekend.
Well, if people listen to the after show, then there is some discussion of Godzilla.
So we'll leave it to there. Yeah. Yeah. Gaming-wise, probably the rest of the weekend, which generally involved alcohol and really nice food and overindulgence, which it often does in Cardiff. Yeah. I took my pigs. Sorry, mate.
Well, we know you took your pigs, but were there any memorable bits of games?
I lost my first 3 games. In spectacular style in places. Mark Morgan just shot me right off the table with Retribution. Actually, the first 2 games I got shot, I think, clean off the table by Retribution. Pigs v Retribution, not a good matchup.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, it was. Who did I play? The 4th game was very memorable. That was against Andy Powell, and he was also playing minions, mainly Gators. And that was good. He played I think I was his 6th or 7th game of War Machine ever, and it was the 4th game of the Welsh Open.
That's
was a big scenario. Sorry.
6th or 7th game ever.
Yeah.
And it's the 4th game of the Welsh Open.
Yeah.
That is a big ask for a player.
Yeah.
Serious cojones.
Hence why he was playing Kurt at that stage.
Yeah, I was doing rubbish. Alright, I did. I was not. I lost my first 3 games. My 4th game, in the bottom, what am I saying? That's bottom 8, bottom what? I don't know, I can't math that. Bottom 8, isn't it? Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. So that was a fun game, just because he was trying to give me scenario points by just staying in his deployment zone. And I'm like, no, don't give me control points just by sitting back there. Come forward and help him out. And, stuff like that. And you came over and go, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm helping him because I'm being generous, trying to help him learn the game. And you were like, I might sit down.
Well, there weren't a lot of rules queries. And what there were, people were shouting at me for, so,
Yeah. That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Was that the game where you basically achieved a lockout on the left-hand side of the board and went, you can get anything in this zone?
No, that was the next game. That was the game after.
Oh, right.
That was the game after, thinking. I did go for... It was the 2 flags was the one we were playing, and I just went for his flag. Oh, see, close quarters. And I basically, because I was thinking he's a new player, if I go hurtling across the board at full tilt, I will mob the flag. He won't come up aggressively, and I will be able to get all my heavies right up around it and bolster in. And I did manage it, but he kept just about chipping in because I was kind of helping him come forward and going, well, you need to contest. If you don't contest, I'll score again. And helping him come through. And actually, inadvertently, set myself up for an assassination run, and his caster came straight in against mine. It suddenly got a bit dangerous. But it was really fun, and he didn't manage to pull off assassination, thank God. Yeah, it was the game after, which was very much similar, but with the 2 big zones. Used to be outflank, outlast, but it's just got a flank now, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mobbed one zone, contested the other one with random infantry, and just mobbed it with big heavies and infantry, and went, "This is mine." Yeah, and Circle don't have the muscle to take out Armour 21 heavies.
Well, they do, just not like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Especially not when they only have like a Stalker and a Feral that's out of range.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun, and my infantry were fantastic, and they just kept toughing. It was fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, all round awesome games. And I finished 3-3, so 3 wins, 3 losses. I was the bottom of the 3 3s because my strength of schedule was utter pants. And I succeeded in securing top minion. And no, Alex, I was not the only minion player, but there were only 3. And one of them I played in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that, which is why...
Sorry?
I heard that, which is why I knew you weren't the only minion player.
And he did get the spoon, so one of the players I played got the spoon.
Well, Jay Taylor was there as well, and he does have some phenomenal pig conversions coming along.
Yeah, he does. They're fantastic. Roadhogs especially are amazing.
The Roadhog with tracks is just fantastic. I just think that's one of the best conversions I've seen in a very long time. So I look forward to seeing if you can, actually give it the kind of paint job that army really deserves.
I think just a reasonable paint. Pigs are great. Pigs are fun to paint quickly and easily because it is just brown flesh, and you highlight it up, and it's just done. You can dry brush and wash it, and it still looks really, really good.
This sounds remarkably different to the Kurt I heard several years ago, talking about painting. What was it, 20 of the brigands?
Yep. Yeah, they're still there.
When you were kind of, I hate pigs, I hate them all, I hate brown, and I want to paint anything brown again. I'm going to do white trolls.
Yep.
You're not doing white trolls, are you?
Yeah, still gradually painting white trolls.
Are they new?
They are my new albino trolls, yeah.
The 4th year of that joke.
Is it really that long?
Yes. That joke was originally around in 2011.
Jesus.
I think it's on the same compilation CD as the Kev and mothers sucking people's penises jokes.
That was our first anniversary episode that really came from them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, just before, and then I got hammered home in that. I never can stand what that guy says.
If you've been listening to the Beasts of War videos recently, that's actually very true. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't bother. I think if you stood in front of him, you still can't believe. Just the mumbling. I don't know.
I can't say anything bad about Kev because he bought me a pint in Ireland.
You can say bad things about him still.
Like
You can, Mike. You can. Everybody can.
just Simon.
Guys, if you can, anybody listening, say something about Rick O'Brien now.
Also, he's
He
bringing
loves it.
he's bringing the chess clocks for Masters.
Oh,
So
you won't have heard this by then.
I
There's
need.
no way he'll hit this by Friday unless he's listening right now.
Well, there's no way he'll listen to this by Friday unless he goes on YouTube tomorrow. Which I know some people do. Some people.
It's live right now. I take it though, isn't it? People can listen.
Oh yeah, I just haven't given out the link.
Okay.
So, because I can't actually see it on my YouTube page, which is annoying. It's not published the event. It is doing a live hangout, just not publishing it for some reason. So I need to figure out what's up with that. It's doing it on Google, so. Yes. So there we go. That is the Welsh. I was there very much in a judging capacity, walking around and looking stern at people, and there were a lot of very fun games to watch. A couple of not so fun ones, but you always have that at every event.
I was surprised. I was very surprised to walk up to my last game and find myself against Adam Wilkie. And I was like, what? But I did really badly. Why am I still opposite a flail player? And then next to me is Tom as well, Fretwell. I'm like, but I've got a flail in front of me and flail to my right, and I'm on the bottom tables. What's going on?
Well, Adam.
They had worse weekends than me, both of them.
Yeah, Adam walked away with the Signar spoon.
He did.
Which he's gone back to the Epic Flail dungeon for suitable punishment, I believe.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So, okay. Well, that was the Welsh. It's a great event. I would say go, but at 72, started to push the numbers just a bit.
There are potential plans there, though, aren't there? So nothing official, but it may be bigger next year.
I cannot, as someone who is helping Martin.
No, that's all I've said. But I only know rumorism, but it may be bigger next year, so there may be possibilities.
There are ongoing discussions about.
Yes, there are. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with my bit of glass with the Minion logo on it, though. I'm very, very happy with that. It's very nice.
Those prizes were absolutely stonkingly good.
For best in faction, it's huge. It's bigger than any of my other prizes I've won for anything.
It's an ooch.
Did you post a twit pic of it, Kurt?
Don't think I did, no. I can do, though.
The prizes for best in faction were large glass trophies with a sort of etched, frosted
faction logo.
symbol.
Hmm. And a plate on the base saying best in faction whilst open 2014.
Yeah. I did like the one for fastest caster kill though.
What was
which
that?
was a clock with more
yeah.
as the face.
Yeah.
Martin had gone to Wilco's, opened up one of their clocks,
Yeah.
stuck a Morvana picture inside.
Did that
Very
last
well
year
done.
as well? Something similar last year, didn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Well, that was our quick discussion of the Welsh, because we've discussed it at least 3 or 4 times on here. It's a good event. Book to go, please. It's
3 years in a row now, I've got my ticket through the reserves.
Yeah.
3 years in a row, I have missed the window of purchasing through, usually because I'm busy with children and timing. And this year I didn't want to go, but then I ended up on the reserves anyway. And then I've got a ticket on the reserves. And Matt Rowan, who I shared a hotel room with, got his reserve ticket Friday night when he was already there.
I will say, I had a bit of trouble recognising Matt Rowan.
Why?
Because the last time I saw him, he looked quite a lot different. He's got big sideburns and much longer hair. And
Okay.
did he change now?
Okay. I'll have to take your word for that. I can't say I've noticed.
I'm just saying, he looks different now.
Oh.
That's all. I have heard of that off someone else as well. So it's not just me. It's you that doesn't see these things.
I see him fairly frequently, so I probably don't notice.
Fair enough. Okay, should we move on to the hobby table?
Well, that noisy fracas that's going on the other end of the call.
Fracas, please. So, Kurt.
Hello!
What are you doing hobby-wise?
Currently sticking together a troll blood sorcerer.
Ooh. After
On my
having
table
paid
is a highly ambitious collection of things to finish painting by Friday, none of which will probably have any paint on it whatsoever.
Sweet. Oh, so you're going with Trolls for Expo?
I really, yeah, I think I probably am. I'm just debating what to take. I haven't packed my case actually. I was going to pack my case before we started this podcast, and I haven't. I need to pack my case for tomorrow night to go down to Exeter, and yeah, I thought I'd rock up my Trolls. I had 3 lists, two nailed down, and one that was a bit kind of, and the third one might have become some adaptation of Toby Jennings' list from last weekend. Not that I've talked to Toby about it directly.
If you play that miserable Meat Mountain list, I will personally hurt you.
It sounds horrible. It's great. Do you mean Emadrak 2 units of warders?
No, it's Gristle.
Oh no, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do Emad. I liked his. He played Emaddy with 2 units of warders and lots of other flavour against Richard Dean. And Richard Dean recanted to me, and I immediately grabbed my phone and started saying into a ballroom and going, right, I'll fill this out with this and this. So I'm not playing an identical list to Toby, but kudos for inspiration. But I like that as a foundation for a list.
The one I've seen is Epic Bristle, Creel, 2 units of Warders, 1 unit of Champions with Scaldy, a Hero, Fellcaller, Chronicler, and basically it comes forwards. You hit it with a couple of bits and pieces and don't really do anything. Then it comes forwards again and feats, and you go, oh, it's all hyper-aggressive, it's all got unyielding, it's all armored 20-something.
Yeah.
Ugh. Bloody horrendous to try and chop through.
Yeah.
And
dear. Trolls. Trolls.
Whoever came with it deserves a painful fate.
See, that sounds like a nice list too.
Yeah, Liam.
It was originally my original third list was Pre-Grizel, Krillstone, 2 units of warders, and some other stuff. That was the original list I had. But I like Emaddy too much. I love Emaddy, so I'm thinking, yeah, I could do Emaddy with 2 units of warders and some other stuff, and Bomber and Impaler and Power Troll and Krillstone.
Emaddy's a bit retro at this point, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
I like it. I still like Emaddy too much. I stopped playing him because I kept going gung ho, must go for the assassination, which apparently is exactly what Toby did. He took whichever version of the old man of Signar.
Oh, Nemo.
Nemo down to 1 wound, which is exactly what Emaddy always does if you go solo attack. He always will not quite make it. So that's why I stopped myself playing it. Because
Ikai assassination runs so far this year. They've all been. How much you got left? 1? Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yep. So that's why I stopped playing him, but I kind of think, yeah, alright, I can give this a go.
Okay. Any other gaming stuff on the horizon?
Sorry?
Any other gaming stuff on the horizon?
I bought a big spaceship.
Yes, you did. I also have a big spaceship. I also bought another big spaceship.
You bought 2?
No, not. I bought the.
Oh, the other one, 'cause it's out now, isn't it? Tentative.
Because I found a site that sold it very quickly of them. Given that the RRP is £75.
Yeah, I'm not rushing to buy one of those.
How much do you think I got it for?
30 something.
Close. 42.
Oh. Is it sold out now? They're gone.
Sold out within minutes.
I don't know if they bring out an Imperial version of that, which they should, then I'd be all over it. But there aren't Imperial rules in that box, are there?
Pardon?
There aren't any Imperial rules in there, are there?
No.
Because if you can play it on both sides, cool.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to sort of scare the expanded universe. If they've still got the rights to it, which they kind of sold it to the Star Wars has now been sold to Disney, and it's kind of a bit up in the air. If they're still allowed to mine the expanded universe, something like the Imperial Customs Corvette, or there is a very, very small Star Destroyer like.
The thing that we all think of as the medical frigate.
Yeah.
The vast majority of those are Imperial.
Same goes for the blockade runner. There's a blue version that works for the Imperials and is kitted out as a warship.
Yeah. So that medical frigate is generally a warship.
Yeah.
But it's when the rebels.
The problem is not kind of what faction it can play for. It's more what faction it's identified with.
Yeah.
Also, the medical frigate is a bit large.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's
true.
Got the whole issue of, well, yes, we could make a Star Destroyer, but it would be 6 feet long. Like you wouldn't be able to fit.
I have no complaints. I quite like a lot of the different fighters we're getting now and throw them into the table and.
They do fudge the scale, and I'm really looking forward to the E-wing. That looks like a brilliant fighter.
It's a horrible model, though.
I really like the model.
The rules are gorgeous, but the model I just think is horrible.
The other one's the Headhunter, which it's like an X-wing, but not as X.
Both of them. Well, it's cheap. It's a cheap X-wing now.
Yeah, it's basically the Rebel TIE fighter.
Yes, it's really cheap. It'll be Swarm. It's not quite as cheap as the TIE fighter because nothing's 12 points, but yeah. So yeah, I still play lots of X-wing. Do like X-wing a lot. Thinking of bringing Trolls to Expo for a bit of a giggle, and see how I feel about that.
Okay.
Apart from that, I don't really know. I doubt I'm actually going to play any 40k anytime soon. I've parked all of that really, but
Okay. Alex.
Yes.
What are you doing hobby-wise?
Nothing.
Excellent.
I've been doing nothing all evening.
So that soaring has just been like purely coincidental.
Is that some weird kink masturbation type thing?
No, I like the kinks.
Do you like kinks? Okay.
No, I've been doing more orc things.
More orc things. It's like you deliberately don't want to give details. As
No,
though you have some sort of nerd
He didn't to me when you were around. Even privately, he didn't want to say. He's like he's embarrassed.
No, I'm building. Well, I'm putting some more touches to a orc truck that I've done quite a bit of conversion on with plasticard and yeah. I mean,
The rules about how many you can pile on aren't really valid anymore, don't you?
Yeah, no, I've kind of made it more restrictive for models getting in, to be honest with you.
Oh.
If anything.
Can you?
Yeah, he's I don't know, he's been alright. Just been building up a little bit and making it a bit more beefy. And I don't know if I've maybe taken it a bit far. It's a bit large now, a bit larger than it was. But he still takes the same footprint. It's just a bit taller and kind of a bit beefier. I'll post some pictures online. Cable Red, Twitter. I'll put some up, I'm sure. I'm not too ashamed to be associated with such a game.
Liar.
To be honest, it's where we all came from.
Yeah.
I think.
I was saying to Kurt, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to play the game. I don't know if I will. I don't know if when I've built all this stuff, I may decide to move it on and sell it and see if it's, it probably will make an absolute fortune. But someone might be interested in some converted bits.
Somebody might be interested in orcs built by Cadre Red.
I'm actually vaguely interested at some point in seeing if I can get someone with just the existing models that we've got to do a second edition game.
The new one is very similar to second edition from everything I've heard.
You say
Magic phase is back.
Yeah, the psychic phase is back.
Yeah, but I mean.
It's using the a variation of the current Warhammer rules, where you kind of have dice pools and stuff like that. You don't have the warp deck and.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest.
I wouldn't have thought you were old enough to remember that.
Pardon? I
wouldn't have thought.
I have in front of me right now a black and white book entitled Warhammer 40,000 Codex Army Lists by Jervis Johnson and Andy Chambers.
Wow.
It is the 24-page codex that came in second edition, which includes things like Ogrins for orcs.
I'm not sure if I have that still. I know I've got the compendium and the compilation, which are Mark 1. I'm not sure. I've got some Mark 2 stuff. I'm not quite sure to what extent it exists in my house.
Here we go. Second edition, page 13, Squat Army List. it still had stunties in it. Now you got to admit that's impressive.
It is. I've got Rogue Trader somewhere. Its spine's dropped off when it's sat in a box loose, but
Also, one of the things that I always find amazing when I go back and look at 40k stuff is looking at the speed things moved. So the speed of your average squat is 3.
yeah, not 6.
Which, I mean, when you consider the average movement speed in War Machine is 6, and if you're playing with something that's movement 4, you feel like, oh, this is the slowest thing ever. That's
3.
the walk speed of a Space Marine.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, it used to be 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, didn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of 4s all the way across the board, except for leadership, initiative,
Armor.
attacks, and wounds. I still, for some reason, have the stat line for 40k imprinted on my brain. It's kind of wrong. But so many good gaming memories.
Yeah, I've definitely played more Mark II and Mark III.
Oh, as in for 40k, yeah. Second edition was my game, and then it moved on.
Sorry, always second edition. Sorry, not Mark. Wrong words. But yeah, second edition I played more of, tons of. I bumped into when I went to Nine Inch Nails on Friday. I saw Nine Inch Nails with Simon, who used to live on the corner from me, and I had my own house. He used to live with his parents, and I said he was around at my house 2 or 3 nights a week. He said no. I think it was every night for long periods of time. We were just around doing something, either computer gaming, lounging in front of telly, or playing 40k. At least 2 games of second edition a week.
It's good stuff. Memories, man. Memories.
Really, you managed to finish 2 games of second edition in a week?
Yep, I could leave it out. I just play room.
That was a very important thing about second edition 40k. It was not a tournament game because a 2-day tournament would mean 1.5 games.
You could get through a bit quicker than that, but yes.
If you're playing like 500 points.
It is 15. We played 200 points a week, I'd have thought.
So, I mean, there were reasons why for second edition 40k they had to come out with little things like buying half a Space Marine squad. Because, Marines are 300 points. People are playing lower points to get games finished. How about we make the squads smaller? You can have 1 special weapon or 1 heavy weapon. Because then having a second half squad that had a second heavy... Yeah, it just goes into realms of ridiculousness. I'm remembering the cheese. It's horrible. Anyway, speaking of Games Workshop stuff, if you're finished, Alex...
Yeah.
Calm down, Alex, please. Jesus.
I'll move on to my sort of hobby stuff. After having painted up my epic Lehman Russ tanks, I've now moved on to starting to get some paint on my Sentinels, which are coming out quite nicely so far. I must say this undercoat that I'm using is pretty nice. It's Plastic Soldier Soviet Green. It's good stuff. And it's all coming together very nicely. I'd forgotten the joy of painting 6mm miniatures because you can get them churned out so quickly. Which is a godsend. I finally got my 6mm infantry. Not that it matters because I'm playing Imperial Guard, and 3 whirlwinds knocked out all of it over 2 turns. But I bought some Bacchus Colonial British for that. Historical, but they look like Praetorians, so that's nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously had my first couple of games of epic mini-geddon because we're only playing 1,000 points. And it's really fun. We're not playing sort of quite to all the rules yet. We're there or thereabouts. But it is a really fun, fast-paced game in which I get to complain about Space Marines getting the first turn every single turn for the entire game. Because them having D6 plus 5 to my D6 plus 2 to get first choice is just horrendous. But yes. Other hobby-wise, I'm largely running stuff for War Machine.
Yes, I noticed.
Yeah, I've helped run the Welsh Open. I've got UK Games Expo coming up this weekend. I'm trying to get a Midland Steamroller series together. It's looking like I've definitely got 3 of the venues available. I have tried getting in touch with the Ross on Y guys. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So that one may change, well, depending on who I can get in contact with, to either somewhere Liam's thinking of suggesting, or maybe Cheltenham, if the War Chiefs are interested in hosting a heat for me. So, planning phases, so not exactly reliable information at the moment, but there should be a Midland Steamroller series this year.
This week?
Awesome. Not this week. Yes, the first qualifier is at Games Expo. I haven't told them. It's going to be a 16-player steamroller starting at midnight.
Is he getting snarky now, is he? I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'll have you know I never use sarcasm.
Nice done.
Right, well that's my kind of hobby-ish stuff looking to be done. Unless there's any other business on the table. I
Can't think of anything else. Apart from that, I'm never going to get all the painting I'd like to get done for Friday because I decided I only play Trolls like a week ago. But I will have some fully painted stuff, and I will be able to put in what they would War Army painted. So we'll see.
Well, I actually need to paint up the coins for best painted. Yeah. Okay. Well, with that all said and done, I think now is the time to hand over to Alex, who can sign us off.
You have been listening to Elite Cadre, the Hordes and War Machine podcast, that occasionally talks about Hordes and War Machine. I've been Alex.
The Wargaming podcast. Are we Hordes War Machine again all of a sudden, are we?
We are for this episode, despite talking mostly about 40k on the hobby table.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast of people who like wargaming.
Yes. I've been
Alex.
I've been Mike.
I've been Alex.
Have you?
Well done.
I've been Alex.
That's the most talking he's done all episode.
Goodbye. I'm done. Goodbye. Can we stop now? Goodbye.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
That sounds like something out of Toy Story.
Or Animaniacs. Maybe a little young for you.
I used to watch Animaniacs, but I used to watch Animaniacs for Pinky in the Brain.
Oh, this was Mindy and her dog.
Good.
Do you remember it?
No. Don't remember that now.
I bet you don't remember the classic Slappy the Squirrel segment either.
Don't remember that either.
The cranky old cartoon squirrel and her nephew? No?
Can't say recall.
I'll link you at some point to the Who's on Stage joke that they did, which was... Have you ever heard the joke Who's on First?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a version of that with the band The Who. It was rather good. Anyway, I'm tired and I still have to clear stuff off my bed because there has been construction in here today. And I have 2 new bookcases onto which will go many Hordes and War Machine. But, yes. Anyway, night, folks.
Good night.
Oh, Alex.
Yes.
Expo stuff.
Yes.
You're still picking that all out up on Friday, aren't you?
Yes.
Cool.
What additional scenario do you want me to print off?
Let me get the steamroller pack. I shall roll it live. Where's my green die? Right, so Bearstein Steamroller Pack. Steamroller 2014. I do need to send out a message over the tweet just going, this is when you turn up. The schedule is on the phone.
So Friday.
Yes.
Do you know when you can get in the room yet?
We've been told from noon.
Okay, I should be around not long after that.
Right. Our scenario is 2.
Oh, so I think that might be one that's in the Masters pack already.
That's destruction. Reroll.
Needs to be an odd number.
It is 6, 5. Rally point.
Where are they? Oh, somewhere. Right, so the master scenarios that I have printed off. Scenario 1 is destruction. Scenario 2 is balancing power. Scenario 3 is close quarters. Scenario 4 is incursion. Scenario 5 is outflank. Scenario 6 is fire support. So which one was that one said?
Rally point.
Send me a message to remind me.
Okay.
This is more scenarios that I don't really understand before I turn up at a table tournament and play them.
Yeah, that's for the team tournament. You don't know that one though.
So, the team tournament, I haven't got a team arranged of any description.
No, you don't need to.
Good.
Basically, what we're going to do, a couple of people have contacted me about this. On the Saturday, from the end of play till the end of registration on Sunday, we'll be taking entries for teams. So if you can find 2 other people, then you're a team. If you don't get on any of the teams, we take all the players who are left and want to be in the team tournament, and we assign teams.
Cool.
So either you get 2 other people who are willing to play with you, or you get 2 unwilling victims.
I quite like unwilling victims.
So, I'm fairly sure there's something else for Sunday. For Saturday. Ooh. Actually, that's it. Bring a pair of scissors, Alex.
No.
Well, yes.
Please.
We need to get that some.
Or do we?
Yes. Yes, we do.
I love the way you're going to have staff that start the back and don't do what you say all weekend. That's going to be hilarious.
Well, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down as convention shifts. So you will get a convention shift for cutting out templates.
Okay, sounds fair enough.
I'm not just going to say, come and do this because I say so. It's going to be you're PGing and this is part of your duty. You're on convention staff stuff. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But it's we need.
If you don't want to do it, I'll fight someone who will.
Basically, yeah.
That's what we want. Practice that. Practice that, Mac. Sounds good. Practice that.
Well, I've already recruited Jimmy to cut out some stuff.
Oh, God. Happy to, again, so we're happy to help out Friday afternoon rather, and move stuff around, carry things, whatever.
There shouldn't be too much because it's actually closer to the car park this year.
Okay.
But if you're around...
How much terrain is there? Do you know roughly? Will it fit in the back of a
table?
Will it fit in the back of a saloon car with the seats put down?
Oh God, yeah. There should only be like 4 or 5 boxes. I mean, what you're looking at is there's a box of forest bases, there's 2 smallish boxes of walls, maybe 3, because they're all lined up in cotton wool and they're very tightly packed. There's another box of fields and trenches, and then there should be a box of trees, maybe 2 boxes of buildings. So you're looking 4 or 5 not huge boxes. We're talking you could probably fit 5 on the back seat of a Megane, which is smaller than a Saloon. Well,
Well, you'd be an Astra. My Astra. I think I'd be in probably or my Megane. One or the other.
yeah, but you should be able to fit everything in the back of your average, like, small family car.
Yeah.
Hell, I managed to fit about 7 boxes of terrain in a Fiesta once. That was pushing it.
I was tempted, Mike, to tweet your car parking again from the Welsh Open just for a laugh, just to cause trouble, but I just found out I could be asked.
Okay.
I've worked out petrol's going to be about 25 quid to go to and back from Liverpool, so we're okay to take that out of the expenses.
Yeah. If it's any extra, I'll give you that as well, but
Cool beans.
So, no, that's not a problem. Yeah, and then you'll either be picking up our Masters Trophy or the Polish Masters Trophy.
Yes. Do we know what prizes we've got sorted yet, or?
Nope, Bob just said price support. So, ask Steve if you can have like a spree in the parts bins, or
Are we having goodie bags again this year, or?
I haven't arranged anything with goodie bags. If Bob wants to provide stuff for goodie bags, I'm willing to put stuff out on tables. I'm not going to do bags because pre-packing stuff's a pain.
Okay.
I would probably just, during the first round, a random blister if you did something like that. So, also, for list checking, I'm going to not be doing, and Kurt, you haven't heard this, I'm not going to be doing normal list checking. What I'm going to do is at the start of each round, we'll pick out 2 random tables. They'll get a 5-minute delayed start while one judge goes up, checks both lists, and checks what's out on the table to see if it complies with one of the lists. It'll be completely random in the first round, but it will most likely be from the winners' brackets after the first round.
Me?
So, because,
Wow.
What?
I could just cheat my arse off.
If you want to do it, but the thing is, if you are one of the random people, then that's it. It's a
I don't want to cheat at this game. It makes it pointless.
And your opponent's going to call you out on it eventually.
No, they're fucking not. They really are not.
And to be fair, it took me a while to realise in one of our games that Jimmy was playing 6 points up.
There's nobody looks at the opponent's list. They look at it and read it to see what's in it, but you don't look at it and vet it as a player. I don't think very few people do.
The only time I've ever questioned a list as I've been handed it was when I looked at one of Ash Mitch's lists and saw 3 units of Man-of-War shock troopers on there. I was like, surely you need the Kovnik for the 3rd one. No, they are just FA3. Why shock troopers are FA3, God only knows. Yeah. The other thing we're doing, Alex, is that I'm going to be enforcing the proper death clock rules.
No pausing.
Well, it's going to be. I'm going to say when you call the judge, if you want to pause, it's your own prerogative. That's fine. I'm not going to say the judge has to pause it when they get to the table. But the proper death clock rules are the ones where. Oh, he's gone.
I'm here.
Well, there we go.
He's back.
Mike, I'm going to stop you there. Yeah, I was going to say I dropped just as you said. The proper death clock rules are.
Yeah. No, I saw. The proper death clock rules are the ones where there will be a round timer. When the round timer expires, I'm going to call it. Anyone with more than 5 minutes left on their clock, both players get a draw.
Or a loss, effectively.
Yeah. Because at the Welsh and at Blood and Oil, there's at least one game, well, at least 2 or 3 games that have had like 10, 15 minutes left at the end of a round, and I don't want to hold everyone up for another 15, 20 minutes between each round when it's death clock anyway, and we can just get on with it. If they've got less than 5 minutes left, sure, play it out, that's fine. But more than 5 minutes, nope.
Listen.
Trying to think if there's anything else I need to... to be honest, I can talk about it with you and Mark and Chris on Friday.
Am I rooming with Chris?
You can room however you like. There are 2 rooms, and there are 3 of you. Have fun.
Dibs on my own room. I'm getting trained. Tell them I'm my own room.
Find out amongst yourselves. Who's more authoritarian out of the 3 of you? Who are you arguing with?
Chris Cawthorne and Mark.
And who?
Mark Clayton.
Yeah, Chris won't want to share with Mark. But it depends on how generous he's feeling.
Maybe you should share with Chris.
Yeah, that would be the better option.
I think that may be the better option for everyone's sanity. Are they twin rooms or double rooms?
Twins.
Good.
I would vote for sharing with Chris if I was you. Otherwise, you better have sharing with Mark.
Yeah.
For my sanity, I should be sleeping at home. I can't sleep in hotels.
I've gone silly. I've got a lovely double bed.
What is this madness?
I know. I was like, all the singles are gone, sir.
I do need
How
to
much is a double? Fuck it.
Breakfast is still included.
Tears of mine.
Yeah, but we've got the cheap ass.
I wish I had cheap, but they're all gone. But I was like, fuck it. I want to stay in a hotel. I'm going to have a nice room.
Hilton Hotel's confirmation.
I changed it as well because I had the Thursday night booked as well. I was like, why am I doing that? That's extremely expensive. Fuck that.
I can't see anything about breakfast, but then I don't know. Doesn't say.
Okay. Well, I'm
going to go to bed, I think.
I'm gonna jump off.
So, I shall see you guys on Friday.
See you Friday. Bye.
Enjoy.